Hey folks, welcome to Allie's wedding planning party. We actually got married several weeks ago, but you haven't seen me since I've been a married woman. It was the end of the school year, all the testing going on, curriculum writing days. So this is actually the first chance I've had to sit down and talk with you about our wedding. So the title of this video is the top 10 things I loved about our wedding, and it's not the top 10 tips because honestly, I think your wedding is so personal. I don't want to shove these ideas onto anybody. I just want to share what we did. And if that inspires somebody or gives them something to think about or some options to juggle around in their minds, then I just hope that it's helpful. But I don't want to say you have to do this with all these tips. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I loved about our wedding was that we had two sets of vows. We had our personal vows that we wrote to each other, and then we had the traditional vows. So we did the personal vows because I just wanted the world to know what I loved about the man. I wanted to tell him in front of all of our friends and family what I loved about him, the special moments that I cherished between us. And I wanted my personal promises or my personal vows to be things that reflected us as a couple and the things that we've gone through and the things that are important to us. So having those personal vows was really important. I was kind of worried that my vows would be longer than his vows. No judgment on him, but I wanted them to kind of have the same length, the same sentiments. So I kind of wrote an outline. So this is what I said we should kind of focus on. Not trying to be bossy, but I just thought it would flow better. And actually our vows turned out really similar, and I think they were really heartfelt between the two of us. So this was the outline that I followed. When we met and our feelings at that moment, what we love about each other, the moments that made us grow together as a couple, and then our personal promises and vows to each other. So I think that they turned out they almost matched, and I think that's a good sign that we value the same things in each other and the same moments that brought us together and the same promises that we made to each other. I mean, they weren't exactly the same, but they were symmetrical, let's say. And then we did some readings, and then we had the traditional vows towards the end of the wedding ceremony. And I just love the idea of using the vows that, millions of couples have used throughout the years. Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife type situation? So I really wanted both, and we did what we wanted to do, and we included both, and I think it went really well. And it just made the day feel really special to have our personal vows and then to also follow the traditional vows that have been passed down through the years. The second thing that I loved that we did is after the wedding ceremony, we absconded into the bridal suite for the license signing. And right after the ceremony, I whipped out my phone in the bridal suite, and there's this big mirror, and we took our first marriage selfie. And I just think it's so cute. Our smiles are so big. I think that's the most that he smiled the whole day. The wedding ceremony is over, the hard part's over. Now it's time to party, and we're just so excited and in love and happy. So I'm really glad that I took that little selfie right after the ceremony. The third thing that I loved about my wedding were the florals, especially the centerpieces. If you've seen my other wedding planning videos, my plan all along was to go to the grocery store and use bud vases and make my own florals. And I did just that. So 2 days before the wedding day, my mom and I went to Kroger and we bought basically all the florals that matched the theme. So the theme, I suppose, would be nice day for a bright and white wedding. So I wanted bright, punchy florals, spring, summer's coming. I wanted bright white, basically in the background of everything, and then touches of gold and silver. So I think it came out fun, beautiful, and a little classy too. That's just, how I think it came out. But we went to Kroger, bought all the florals, and we spent less than $200 for everything. So everything included 10 centerpieces, windowsill, decorations, just some little bouquets of baby's breath, and my bridal bouquet. And yes, I made my own bridal bouquet too. I watched a video here on YouTube. I will link it down below because it was really helpful, super helpful. The hardest part about doing your own florals is the transportation, but I mean, it all worked out. All the tables were beautiful. I will say this, we had minimal florals, minimal decorations going on, and I think we were able to do that because one of our biggest expenses was the wedding venue, and it was just beautiful. So it didn't need a whole lot. So I figured, you know, if I spend the money on the wedding venue for it to be beautiful and I don't have to decorate it that much, I can just add in the accents that I want. That would be a better value for my money than getting someplace that needs a lot of decoration, which means more stress for me, more buying things ahead of time and storing them. So I just, you know, just something to think about. The fourth thing that we did that we loved and our guests loved is we did a sip and solve. So I had seen this posted on like the wedding Facebook groups. Basically, it's a huge crossword puzzle and the clues are things about you and your partner, and the guests get to fill it out during cocktail hour. And they thought it was fun and I thought it was cute. Like, I'm just waiting to go get it framed so I can put it up in the house somewhere. My one caveat to that is I would not use a metallic Sharpie marker because it did smear when we got it home. I guess it kind of got rubbed in the car or something. So if you use a metallic Sharpie, make sure you handle the poster board very gently, or I would just go with a regular Sharpie, not the metallic kind, because I don't think that those would smear so much. I literally had to take a magic eraser to like get the smears off around all the letters that were written on it. Also, we did have a child-friendly wedding, and they were great, they were fun, but the sip and solve was just like laying on a table at the end of the night. It wasn't on its easel anymore, and so the kids kind of got their hands on it, which I think is cute. I don't hate it. I think it's a good little memory of the little ones that were at our wedding that night. Just things to think about if you don't want your sip and solve poster board written on by the little ones. The fifth thing that we did that I loved and the guests loved too was having a photo booth. So the photo booth for us served three purposes. It was fun. I mean, I love a photo booth. If I go to an event and there's a photo booth, I'm using that photo booth. Okay, that's who I am. I love pictures. It also served as a guest favor so that the guests could take something home with them. And the third thing is that we used it for our wedding guest book, and it turned out so good. So I got this book on Etsy. I showed it to you guys in a video like a year ago, and it's beautiful. And so the guests were able to print out multiple copies of their photo strips. And then I bought these beautiful floral stickers from Amazon, and they were able to just stick their extra copy of the photos into the guest book and write a message, and it just turned out great. And I know a lot of people say don't worry about a guest book, but that was like the first set of pictures that I was able to look at the very next day, like in my hands. So I loved having the guest book with the photos. So we got the guest book with the unlimited prints, and that came out to about $6.50, I believe. And that's actually way cheaper than it would have been to do the DIY guest book with like a instant camera kind of thing. When I priced out like how much all the film would cost and getting cameras, and then I was thinking of the logistics. How do I keep that camera charged all night? Am I going to have extra batteries? Will the guests be able to figure it out? Will the photos even come out good because they're going to take blind selfies? It just made more sense for me to go with an actual photo booth that we rented. Ooh, we've fallen. Oh. The sixth thing that I did for my wedding that I loved is I wore my veil all night. Now my veil was a fingertip length veil. It's not this one. This is the janky one, the trial one from Amazon. Not that all Amazon veils are janky, but this one has this little poof going on. But I wore my veil all night and I loved it. I mean, how often do you get to wear a veil, right? My wedding coordinator was like, Allie, are you planning to take it off? I was like, heck no. I didn't say it like that. I was like, how often do I get to wear a veil? I'm pretty sure I said that. But I loved it. I looked like a bride all night. You know, I didn't dress down. It was just, I don't know. It felt magical. I felt like a princess all night. So I just did what I wanted. And that's what you should do too. Do what you want. The seventh thing that I did that I loved is I didn't have a bridal party. We had a flower girl and a ring bearer, and those were his niece and my nephew. And those are the only little children really in our immediate family. But I didn't have bridesmaids. He did not have groomsmen. And y'all, that morning getting ready was so peaceful. I was not worried about anything but like my hair and makeup. And even then I wasn't worried. I really envisioned that morning to be spiritual, to be relaxing, to me to focus on the ceremony and the commitment, and that's exactly what it was. And I'm so happy that we chose to do that. I didn't have any drama leading up to the wedding day with trying to figure out things for bridesmaid dresses or groomsmen tux rentals or anything like that. So just sharing my experience, I absolutely loved not having a bridal party. Now, I still honored my favorite people in other ways. One of my best friends gave us a toast. My sister walked down the aisle with the officiant because that's her husband, my brother-in-law. So I tried to include them in the wedding ceremony and the reception so that they still felt special. I actually gave a couple friends some of our corsages just to mark that they are special people in our lives and that we love them. The 8th thing that we did that I loved is that we chose our favorite foods for the wedding reception. So we did the keto cake. It turned out beautifully. I ate keto cake for a month after the wedding because not a lot of people ate it. It was more of a cutting cake, but it was huge for a cutting cake. I mean, that literally lasted us for a long time. But the cake was gorgeous. We had our beautiful cake topper that we got made on Etsy. It was just lovely and it tasted so good. We went with the orange creamsicle because that was our favorite flavor last summer when we tried out the bakery for the first time. And then for dinner, we did a barbecue buffet. The man and I love barbecue. It's like one of our favorite things. So we had barbecue pulled pork, we had barbecue chicken, we had all the fixings, we had sides, we had mashed potatoes and gravy, and a macaroni bar, and like different vegetable salads, and oh man, it was so good. And I think that the buffet worked out well for us. We didn't have a very formal wedding. It was who we are. We're not very formal people. I mean, the wedding wasn't super casual, but it was just laid back, but also fun. And I think it was elegant, if I'm gonna brag about it. So fun, elegant, and relaxed is how I would describe the vibe. The 9th thing that my guests said that they really loved is that we had I Spy cards at each table where guests were tasked with taking different pictures from the I Spy card. So it was a list like, snap a pic of the couple kissing, snap a pic of your table, snap a pic of your favorite, decor item. And so it was just like a list of 10 things. And they said that they loved it. But there is one thing I would change, and I will put that in my video about things that I would change about my wedding. There's not a lot, just some little things. If I could redo, I would redo those things. And then the 10th thing that we did that we loved is we had a photo relay with each table. So our photographer stood me and the man up, and then each table during one song had to rush to us, and we all took some photos. Some of them were really silly, some of them were more formal, just whatever the guests wanted to do. So I've actually printed out those photos with the guest tables with me and the man, and I'm putting them in our thank you cards. So not only are they fun memories, but they're also like cool little gifts to give the people to say thank you for coming to the wedding. Well, folks, those are just 10 of the many things that I loved about our wedding. I might make another video because as I'm talking about them, I'm having more ideas pop up. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and or subscribe. That would help me out a lot. I will be doing more wedding content for the next few weeks. I think I have maybe 3 or maybe 4 more videos of ideas that I want to share with you all. I hope that they're helpful. If you're planning a wedding or you know somebody who is, show them this video. Maybe it'll give them some ideas or inspiration, or maybe they'll say, no, I definitely don't want to do that. That's all right. Do what you want to do. But that's about it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. My name's Allie. Have a good one. Bye.